Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our channel, and today I have this sultry burgundy brown smoky eye for you guys, and believe me, it is just super easy, and you can wear this for your night outs, for your date night. I mean, it's so gorgeous. Imagine wearing it for your date nights and for your girls night out, or even now that the wedding season is almost there, you can literally pair this eye look with so many of your outfits. You could also be switching up some colors in this. Instead of brown, you could do blue smoky eye, you could do purple smoky eye, you could do green smoky eye. The choices that you can make here are endless, and imagine the artistry that you can learn out of this is, oh my goodness, it's just going to be too good. So let's quickly get into the look and see how to get this super easy and super smoky and beautifully sultry brown smoky eye. And let's get into the video. So the brows are done, one eye is already on, and you can see how gorgeous this looks. So let's quickly begin. I am going to be using the Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette, but believe me, you can use just any brown eyeshadow, and we only need a few transition shades. So this is what the palette looks like, and I am going to be starting with the darkest shade right here. This one is called Naughty, but before that I just want to emphasize on how important it is to have like a very good eye base. So of course I'm using my favorite P.Louise base, and I am using a shade that is extremely close to my natural skin tone. And the reason I'm using a shade very close to my skin tone is because I'm using browns. I, of course, do not want it to be, it's not like a very colorful eyeshadow, for which you would need a lighter eyeshadow base. You would really be very good with a base which is pretty close to your skin tone, since these are browns. When you're using colorful eyeshadows, that is when you need a shade lighter, because you want those colors to actually pop on your eye. So that's the basic funda out here. Now I'm just taking a bit, about this much, on the back of my hand and taking a flat brush, and I'm just going to coat the bristles properly and pat the base all over. And I'm also going to be extending it a tiny bit, so that if I have to apply an eyeshadow there, I have my base already there. You can see it's pretty close, so no blending, no rubbing, only and only patting throughout this process. And that is the key to this blown out eyeshadow. Also kind of, cleaning up under the brows with the eye base. And since this one is pretty close, I don't really need to do this with a concealer. I can be good with this itself. Now a lot of people always, DM me on Instagram that why do we actually, need an eyeshadow base. Now I'll be pretty honest, Number one, there are people who just use a concealer and they're okay, but I personally do not like to use a concealer for my eyeshadows. Reason being, um, concealers are pretty thin as compared to the eyeshadow base, and this eyeshadow base is much tackier, and therefore it just grabs on to the powder eyeshadows, and therefore you get your pigments to actually show up, and it does not move throughout the day. If you've seen, there are a lot of people whose eyeshadows, if they're wearing it for a few hours, it just keeps on, fading away, and that's not a good look to have. So therefore you want to make sure that your eyeshadows stay long and they're true to their color. Now imagine, now this is such an even, it's in blank canvas. I do not have anything peeking through. Otherwise your nerves are showing, your veins are actually visible, and then you're applying your eyeshadow on top of that. It's not a good look. So makeup, it's like you have like a canvas and you just want to play around, and that is what we're doing here. Now taking the first shade called Naughty on my MAC 217S, I am taking it on the side of the brush. It's the same brush that I used for this eye as well. Now before I pat this color on, I need to make sure there are no creases, and getting creases till the time you have your eyeshadow on, it's pretty normal. It's a cream, and till you set it with your powders, it will definitely be creasing. So that's perfectly normal. Do not be worried about that. Such a gorgeous color. I'm just building this up, taking very tiny amounts, and I'm going up till the crease. Also with this darker shade, I'm not going all the way inside because I do not want my eyes to look small. When you get like darker colors towards the inner part of the eye, your eyes tend to look a little bit smaller. Just making sure there is no skin peeking through. Now I'm keeping this eyeshadow pretty contained within the eye space and not kind of taking it outwards. So that's one way. You could also be taking it outwards. It's perfectly your choice. Makeup does not have rules, so just do whatever your heart desires. And now that I'm happy with how pigmented and how dark the eyeshadow looks, I'm not going to take any more shadow. Whatever is in the brush is going to do it for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep tapping right on the edges of it. Now whatever is left is kind of going towards the inner corner as well. Buffing the edges very, very nicely. Honestly, if you just keep tapping this, you could just wear this alone, but I kind of don't like to stop here, and that is why I would like to go a step further. How stunning does this look? It's a beautiful technique, and you could use this technique with so many other colors. You could be using it with purples, with blues, with greens, anything. But if you just understand how to do it, you're going to be absolutely good to go. You don't always need to use a lot of shimmers and glitters. And just having like a colorful smoky eye is so beautiful all the freaking time. You can wear this with westerns, you can wear this with Indians. It just looks good with every single outfit of yours. So what I'm now going to do is, you can see like a gradient in this eye, and that is what I want to create here. Now I am dipping into this shade right here. This one is called Arouse, and I am taking like another fluffy brush. You can see it's like a fluffy angled brush. You don't always need like an angular brush, but if you have it, it's always a little bit better. Now I'm just going to take it on the tip of the brush. Always remember, how you pick up your eyeshadows also matters a lot, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this. How you pick it up. If, for example, it's just going to be a tiny little example. You can see how much of the product I have picked up. It's very tiny, and imagine if I had taken like a lot of eyeshadow and then I just go in, it's going to be stuck at one place, and it'll just take me ages to blend it, and it will never come out that beautiful. So therefore, always start with very, very tiny amounts. I just kind of touch the pan, that is it, with no pressure at all. I'm just literally touching like this, that is it. And because on this one I'm using the tip, now I'm going to use the angled side and tap it right on the edges. This eyeshadow would go towards the inner corner because we want some definition there as well. So this brown is towards the red family. You could use like a true chocolate brown. You could also be using a cool toned brown. The process remains the same. Now I'm going to take the shade Juicy here, and I'm taking this one on my Sigma E27. Just think of this one like a smaller, younger brother of MAC 217S. This is just a tinier version of that. And this one is going to start from the inner part and then move outwards. Now, once we are kind of done with this, what I would do is I would take a clean brush with no eyeshadow on it. This is the Pro Art AE25, and I am just going to tap it all around the edges to make sure there are just no harsh edges whatsoever. And once that is done, I'm not taking a lot of time with this because I've already blended it so well. I am going to reinforce the darkest shade because I want it to be a little bit just there, Just tapping right where I applied it earlier. I think this one needs some reinforcement as well. So there you go. I just love eyeshadows like these. It looks like you put in a lot of effort, even though you honestly didn't put in a lot of effort. It just looks so gorgeous. It is such a beautiful eyeshadow look. And now what I'm going to basically be doing is, I just don't want to be using any shimmers today. So I'm going to quickly put on some lashes and just call it a day. I'm happy with how this looks. And I would be back once I'm done with the base, and then I would show you how to complete lower lashes. I don't want to be showing you how to do the base because I'm sure we all know that, and this video is just not about it. So let me be right back. So the whole face is done and I'm back to show you how to complete the eye, and I am just loving the matte face and just the glossy sparkly lips. Quite a contrast, but I'm absolutely here for it. Now let's quickly complete the eyes. So I have the lashes on. I used the House of Lashes Allura Lite. All the product details, you would be finding them in the description box below. Be sure to check that out. Now let's quickly complete the eyes. So I have the lashes on, and now I'm just going to quickly put on some mascara on the natural lashes to kind of merge them into the falsies so they look pretty well blended together. Just a light coat. Now to finish off the upper eyelid, I am going to make sure that, can you see that empty space after the lash band? That is something that just does not look good. So what I am gonna do is I'm just gonna create a very tiny line here. And can you see the difference in the two? That is an extremely important step that just kind of, differentiates in the professional and an amateur way. So make sure you always keep this tiny little step in mind. And we are done with the upper eyelids. Now let's quickly finish up the lower lashes. Now I am using the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Free Burgundy because it has a little bit of burgundy tones on the upper lids. So therefore I am using this. It looks so pretty. I'm going to dip into the darkest shade once again on a flat shader brush, just the tip. So I don't like to blow on my brushes, and you shouldn't either because it is pretty unhygienic. Now I am just going to press. Again, I am not rubbing because I don't want all that shadow in my eye. I'm going to press it till about 3/4 of my lash line. And now I'm going to take another small brush and I'm going to take the second shade that we took. It was this one. This one is called Arouse. And I'm again going to take it onto the tip of the brush to make sure that, since we do not want a larger surface area for the lower lash line, therefore I'm just going to take it onto the tip of the brush. And I'm going to start from here and with very, very light pressure I am kind of blending it, and that is all that I'm going to do onto the lower lash. It is just so gorgeous. Now since we have the whole eye completed, at this point, you could opt for a shimmery inner corner, but I still somehow think that without the shimmery inner corner, it just looks a little better. But again, it's a personal choice. It is totally your call, and you could totally go for a shimmering inner corner. But I think I'm going to skip that for this look today, and I think this is the final look. We have an all matte face with glossy shimmery lips, and I am kind of living for it. So I think it is a pretty nice and pretty wearable look that you could kind of adorn in the daytime as well. You could kind of go for you know, a bit lighter of a shade if you want to, but I would totally wear this in the daytime as well because it just looks so fresh and yet so glam. So I think it just I just do not have any more words for it. I really hope you learned something and enjoyed watching this video. And if you have any more videos that you want me to make on specific concerns that you face while doing your makeup, I would be so happy to do that. So please make sure that you comment down below on what video do you want me to make next, so you could learn something. And I think we're gonna finish this video right here, and I'm going to see you guys in my next one. And XOXO.